pick up right into the Pango opener, so just straight counters coming out for Xtreme. It shouldn't be as clear-cut here for Slatum to just roll around, play this momentum game. But I feel like they have enough to protect the DOTA, right? Like, you've got techies with Blast Off that can just buy space. You've got the roll. You've got a core tiny offlane for Sacred. You can go into, like, Blink. Blink Echo Saber is actually pretty feasible here for Sacred if he pops off. So you have a lot of ways of just tying into giving Pakaz as free of a game as possible. I'm keen to see just what the clear solution from Xtreme is. Like, is anyone going to go defusal? Like, will we get the dreaded sniper defusal, which honestly sounds so annoying. Can you imagine just losing mana at range every single time?
30 seconds.
Good idea to me. Do what XM wants to do, you never know. Because again, game one between these two teams. I mean, you kind of mentioned this earlier, but every single series does matter quite a lot when it comes to the Swiss format. Very, very important. Boom. They make their head up north. Arme is hanging around the area, but we'll see Sacred running his way and does immediately back off, of course.
The battle begins.
The boundary rune they are able to secure. It is going to be a nice 2-for-2 trade, so a very even kind of start. Nothing really to write home about. Of course, we can start with the mid lane, where you are going to see Slatum. He will be up against XM. So the Pangolier versus the Sniper matchup theoretically should favor the Sniper. So I suppose we can wait and see.
Yeah, I don't think this is too bad. Again, in the first 2 levels for Pangolier, it's not the worst thing in the world. It's by the time Sniper hits tree 4 and coinciding with his double rate ban timing, where it starts to get a little bit more annoying for the Pango. But first 2 levels shouldn't be too unmanageable. We'll see how much Slatum can get done. Does get the shield crash now, so he should be able to maximize that while the levels in XM aren't that high. Like, without take aim, you're still within striking range for the crash, and you can trade favorably there. We'll see. Rune control is going to be much bigger for Slatum than it is for XM. So there's some pressure on Boom to kind of secure that. Pakaz? Huh?
Very low. Pakaz?
Oh?
He does end up getting XXS, but he does go down. Sync will follow right afterwards. So a 2-for-1 trade in the favor of Boom.
Yeah, it's rather deep coming out from Xtreme, but I do like that they identify this weakness, right? It's DOTA level 1, level 2, level 3. It's all kind of slow, not that durable. You have a lot of output with Marcy and Slardar, a lot of control and slow with the Dispose and the Crush. They should just look to maximize that on Pakaz while they can, before more sustain comes in with higher points in Mystic Snake and more mana shield comes in. Good identification there. See if they can keep that pace up. Pakaz is about to hit level 2s. XXS a little bit further out. That bot lane can go topsy-turvy, of course. But the top lane, which we were taking a peek at with Ame and DY on that Jar of Copper Bane, up against Sacred on the offlane Tiny with Knight on that Hoodwink, is rather interesting. You don't see the core offlane Tiny too often. We have seen Sacred play that a lot, though. It is something that he has played over the years, something he dips back into. I don't expect that much pressure onto Ame, and that's reflecting in the CS. Jarcopter is just free to farm. There is some aggression that can come out with Bane. Like a good Nightmare Brainstab with Chase Down with Jarcopter can be easy to line up. It's just that you're going to be missing out on a lot of farm. But, Ame is just more than happy to farm rather than fight here.
Yeah, just think you're messing here with Panda down at that bottom lane. Nice body blocks as well. A bit more harassment out thanks to that small camp. I'm just going to walk his way out. There's a lot of kill potential on both side lanes. Kills can happen at any moment. As XXS now going to drop quite low. Sticky Bomb will land. Pakaz still chasing him down. A lot of harassment. And now with the Blood Grenade, it will ensure enough damage for Panda to secure another kill. Someone to the Slaughter.
That's massive. Again, just a couple of good Mystic Snake bounces can kind of set up for Pakaz to get that low HP kill opportunity down mid. Slatum.
Slatum is in pretty big trouble. XM. And they're going to get the job done. Will save the life of the Pangolier, but a very, very close call, and you are starting to see the advantage really play out for XM.
It's just not sustainable for the Pango once level 3, 4 is up, and as soon as that second rate band is up, XM just hits way too hard at a very safe range. Does go for the 1-2-1 build, which is ideal. You can kind of get away with it. And there's not really much Slatum can do. Rune control, again, it's going to be a little bit more important for him as a bottle carrier. but it doesn't look like he has that much space to get his supports in. A Knight is making his way down for the Water Rune at the least. They should be able to secure. Xtreme doesn't need to care as much. Sure, you'd like to slow this guy down, but at the same time, your side lanes do need a lot of help, especially XXS. Although, Sacred.
It takes a bit of damage on the way up. Had the creep rate protect through the Rocket Barrage, so nothing really to be afraid about as XM in a bit of danger. DY is going to TP out to try and help out. In fact, he will. Very, very nice. Knight will go down. XM to secure the kill. The sniper will continue farming. Happy days here for the side of Xtreme.
Yeah, it looked like a decent opportunity, but a good read out from DY to just leave that top lane. TP in, saves XM. They don't manage to deny off the rune. So you do have the top up for Slatin. He is at full HP, full mana once more with 1 bottle charge left. But XM is not in any danger. Level 5 has the free skill point to kind of decide for headshot or take aim. Does go for shrapnel instead for more presence. And he's just going to be fine, just shoving around. 3-2 start. Slightly better for Boom, but it does feel like Xtreme is finding more on the 2 cores that matter. Like your Sniper and your Gyrocopter off to a really good start. And up.
Bottom lane, stun is going to land from XXS, but they do not want to dive the tier 1 tower again. Under alone. Xingqiu has been consistently trying to find some pickoffs across the map. Not getting so lucky yet. Being a little bit of a nuisance here on the Marcy. Mind you, I mean, Pakaz is having a great old time on the Medusa, farming completely freely. No contest whatsoever. Wingate usage is out from Panda now. He wants to try and set up a gank up at that top lane, and Arme is the big target they would love to secure. Sacred trying to bait him forward and does do it successfully. Arme now going to be very cautious. He's been caught out by the blast off, but had some stick charges available. Arme still trying to run. The disarm is there, trying to get his way out. Arme is going to be fine for now. He will not die. In fact, Xingqiu, he'll go for a chase onto Sacred, onto Panda, trying to secure a bit of a trade-off. The Nightmare is going to be there from DY. The chase is still on for the Tiny. Has DY gone too far now? Perhaps not. Or perhaps so. The Brain Sap is going to heal him up just a little bit. Panda, he is going to go down the flak cannon of Arme. There's now Knight in trouble. Knight will try to back his way out. Xingqiu still manning up, happy to continue the fight as Arme trying to catch another. Has found Knight. Will find a double kill. Sacred, he can do nothing, but Slatum can. He'll make the rotation to secure the Gyrocopter kill. What an absolute mess up at the top lane.
That's just an insane amount of commitment from both sides. They do eventually find a kill they'd want, but you get some value there for Ame actually soaking in that kill, and you get some free space for XM to just play mid. Has level 6 up, has a bit of
Snake, Sticky Bomb is there, and the kill will go Pakaz's way. Another great pickup here for Boom.
Yeah, I love this aggression from Boom. Again, the top movement may be a little bit forced out, takes some time to find that kill on Ame, but they are getting so much space out for Pakaz. The Slaughter are not really able to do much. You can't gap close without support. They are looking up top again on Sacred.
Yeah, trying to really abuse the matchup here. DY being an absolute pain with the Nightmare setup. That time around, Knight is going to be around to save, so Ame will not go for a dive with the Rocket Barrage. So, I mean, again, Replica's free farming. Ame is also free farming. Problem is you also have a Sniper that's free farming, so Xtreme Gaming maybe getting a bit of a lead here, but still a very, very even game, and the lanes have been pretty even as well. I can't say it's really gone one way or the other.
Yeah, I think the only lane that's really painful right now is that mid lane for Boom. I think Xtreme have been getting away by virtue of the matchup of Sniper versus Pango. Everything else has been more back and forth. I'd say overall it is edging towards Boom just a little bit more on the side of Xtreme. Taking some severe losses for XXS is a pretty big deal. Like this, Slardar really needs to get into the game fast with a blink.
He might actually turn around now. Sacred unable to finish off the kill, and Sacred will go down. Ame to pick up another kill. That's his third one of the game already on the Gyrocopter, and it's a pretty rough start for Sacred.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see on Tiny at any position, although
This would be a big kill. XM's in caught out though. He's actually kind of tanky for a Sniper, but he is completely surrounded. Xingqiu is around to help. He can try to dispose him away, but no, XM is gone. In fact, dispose was on cooldown anyway, so Panda, he will be traded thanks to Xingqiu. There's your dispose out on Slatum, but there's no follow-up left.
They do manage to trade 1-for-1, but a big kill again coming out from Boom. Committing the resources to slow down that Sniper, forced movement out from Xingqiu, again leaving XXS alone, which opens up that lane for Pakaz to just free farm. Like all of this is feeding into exactly what Boom wants. Free space for the Dusa to get massive. Already has Yasha Arcane Boots at 8.5 minutes. Manta not too far off for that build-up. It's all great news. Sure, you're dropping a couple of heroes here and there. Some support's dying, but... And your Pangalier's not off the best starts. But he is coming back from all this activity. There's not much play on Xtreme until some of these items are up. Like, initial blinks need to be up. You are seeing XXS going for the Midas first because of that slow start, so that will delay the playmaking of Xtreme by a fair bit. You could try to rely on Sin Q once he has his 6, but level 1 rebound isn't the longest range for initiation here.
No, it certainly is not. Just keep roaming the map, just getting D wards off here, XG. Sin Q and DY going to rotate up towards the top lane to see if they can try to secure Sacred, and Sacred, he's under vision right now, but he's also not quite out of position. You'll have to back off by the T1 tower. That can make the jump in onto DY. DY does have Nightmare available, though he has been tossed back. He'll go for the Nightmare onto Sacred, but it is taken here by the Hoodwink, because now Slardam's going to show up. DY still somehow alive. They're going to go after Sin Q instead, and they will find him as DY. No, he will go down. Of course, the Akon shot will secure here from Knight. Another great set of kills from Boom. Once again, reacting at the perfect moment.
Yeah, I mean, right now it is buying some space out for Xtreme. Right, the attention's on the supports. There's space for XM to just play mid, going towards that Dragonlance and the Sniper. Ame's been left alone for a long time now. Only has Phase Boots and Falcon Blade, but still rather good timing considering how his lane was just a little bit more topsy-turvy. For Xtreme, it's all about buying the space. Buying space for all the cores. There's no real playmaker until you've got more levels on the Morsi and you've got this blink up on XXS. You will have to just kind of allow Boom to get what they can. They have managed to get great inways onto that mid-tier one as well by giving XM the space. Like, it's already down to 161 HP. So if they find that objective, just give them some more breathing room here on Xtreme. You're kind of trading fine. And the concern is just lying on Pakas. 600 gold away from this Dusa having full Manta. Like, this is insane timing, insane freeform for a Dusa to have at this point. 11 minutes in with Manta Arcane Boots is kind of nuts.
Yeah, I mean, this man knows how to farm, that's for sure. Car's still kind of uncontested. Perhaps Xtreme Gaming just not feeling confident to try and make any plays against the man right now. But they could also just trust that Ame will eventually out-farm him. Ame not doing too bad himself, but he's still just about 1k behind the Medusa. We'll just continue to play a nice slow game. I suppose with the cores that Xtreme do have, they are more than happy to just drag this game out, because you have a Gyro plus a Sniper. You kind of pointed out the Marcy bonuses as well. Now, even the Bane could be a pretty big pain in the butt for this Medusa later on, because you do drain mana with Fiend's Grip, and as the talents do go up, you can pick up that, what is it, the level 15 talent for an extra bit of mana drain. Be very annoying for the Medusa later on.
Could be helpful. I don't think you want that to be your primary use case, although DY
It's caught out, though a nice Nightmare on Slardam going to make it hard to secure the kill. Nightmare, or rather Fiend's Grip, will be committed. They have held the Pango down. This could be a very good trade-off. They do throw the Assassinator out, though Slardam's still running thanks to the avalanche of Sacred. They'll get the homing missile off in time, but I don't think it's going to quite reach Slardam. Maybe they can just deny it off. Meanwhile, Knight, he does tank the gank. Slardam is still going to survive. Is there any other follow-up? The answer is no.
No. A lot of good aggression back and forth, but it is a support for a support in the end. A little bit better for Xtreme, considering, again, they are slightly behind. Nice kill to find from that Hoodwink. They did force out the grip, which isn't the shortest cooldown in the world, while still holding on to the roll as well. So Slardam has one tool above everyone else. And they're identifying their openings quite nicely on Boom. Like, they've got Diffusal on Slardam off of all this activity. He knows he can play around. He knows he can chase someone down with the inhibit on that active. And again, there's just not much play options for Xtreme. They do have the Midas up on XXS, so the right to the Blink's not too far off. But Boom, they're just going again, going for another smoke play here.
Yeah, I mean, Diffusal Blade's available on Slardam. They want to try and abuse the little spike that Penguin now does have. Oh, a very nice initiation from Knight with a beautiful bushwhack, finding the Sniper. And they've got XM down. In fact, they might even have another. XXS will TP in to try and help out. DY will do the same. They'll go for a Nightmare on Slardam, but he's still just rolling away. Panda will ensure he does remain protected. And they will get away with murder. In fact, they're going for more now. DY out of position. Sin Q is right behind. He'll go for the rebound. Back onto the Pangolier. Slardam, maybe he's gone too far now. XXS shows up though. XXS! takes way too much damage. He will go down as even Pakaz joins the fray. Knight still chasing for more, has Bushwhack in one, but could not quite land it. Still, they could think about going after that T1 mid tower, but there's more TPs incoming. XM's going to join in once again on the sniper, but he might be a little bit too far forward. The sharpshooter will land. Panda's in. The sniper's in trouble. XM, can he find his way out? The answer is yes, he can.
Oh my god.
He's going to make it out. Sin-Q chasing Pakaz. Pakaz is out of mana.
What is this?
What happened?
Oh, they overextend. They don't respect the respawn of Sniper, which looked pretty bad for XM for a while. It looked like he was just going to die again with no TP this time. Does manage to make it work out for himself. Great movement out from Sin-Q to buy that spacing for our Sniper. It was just an overextension. Roll's already gone from Slatim. They popped the Stone Gaze really early on Pakaz, right in the river fight, the initial start of that fight. And it just fell apart from there. No more spells to throw out, so nothing to fear for Xtreme. And Sin-Q could just get to town with that Sniper. So it evens out the game, 11-11, less than 1k lead coming out now from Xtreme. And that fantastic lead Pakaz had disappears almost entirely off the back of that fight.
That's very tough. That's a tough pill to swallow if you are Pakaz. They're just trying to help out the team, and it costs him the net worth lead just about. Still 100 gold ahead of that gyrocopter. Meanwhile, DY is actually going to find Pakaz farming this area. He'll go for a nightmare route, but he is completely alone. So DY will just donate his life to Sacred. And it does seem like there's going to be no real defense to come here from Xtreme Gaming. They'll just continue farming up, as they probably should. And Boom will just happily, slowly chip away at this top tier 1 tower.
Yeah, should be able to find it, no contest. I have to say, this is a lot of space for Ame. Like you mentioned, he's not too far behind Pakaz. It is up to 400 gold, 600 gold every now and again, but the Ags is coming out now for the Gyrocopter. Major item spike, faster farm, a little bit more DPS, especially with that Chrysalis up. Just add some sustain to that equation for Ame, which is pretty much just sidekick, by the way, from Sin-Q. And he's going to be set. That's the one thing with Dusa versus other carries. She can survive a lot longer. She has some pretty interesting power spikes. But when it comes to just raw damage in the right click, this Gyrocopter, Ame should be able to outrun damage with a flak. Like, it's no question. It takes some time for Dusa to hit that same sort of damage spike for herself. And she is a little bit more reliant on getting some good Mystic Sneaks off. So when Ame's ready to play, this could change drastically. We haven't seen the Gyrocopter kick in just yet.
I mean, speaking of trying to play, I mean, the T1 tower is being taken right now by Boom. They wanted to try and intervene, but Xtreme Gaming are not ready, and Boom no. I mean, at the very least, you want the Ags up on Ame before you get too involved. And because without that available, they will not try to risk the life of the Gyrocopter. We'll have the Ags up in about 500 gold, though, to be fair. Meanwhile, XXS and DY looking at that mid lane, could find Panda. They are lacking a bit of vision, so the Techies will be just fine to back his way out. With that, Boom, just happy to go back to the farming game. It is a 1k advantage the way of Xtreme right now. Pakaz still at the top of the net worth board, but again, it is a very small difference. It's not a big deal whatsoever. And of course, as the Ags will be available for Ame, his farm will escalate quite quickly.
I do have to say as well, I appreciate the vision game that Boom is bringing out here. Good ward, watching this large medium camp right between the tier 1, tier 2 on mid. We've seen that a couple of times be really effective in getting some pickoffs in other games. And then you just have like a standard ramp ward watching the top lane jungle. Just ensuring that they can keep up this aggressive momentum. Xtreme, having wards on the opposite side as well, understanding Boom is just going to want to cross the river, farming the opposite direction of where that action's taking place, and just trying to stall for time. Ags is up now for Ame. You've got XM working into a Hurricane Pike for repositioning into the BKB. So not fully going full glass cannon right now in the Sniper, wanting some ways of utility to survive through, and is going to be able to find it. Like, they've not been able to capitalize. A good D ward from DY to find that ward. That was, again, between tier 1, tier 2 camp. Excuse me. As this game goes on, and it's a question of who's the ultimate hyper carry? Is it Dusa or Gyro? And I feel like we've seen this situation a lot where it's down to timing. They find Slatin.
They definitely do. Age Grip will hold him down very, very nicely. Though Sacred will be around to cancel that off, but Slardom is still always going to survive. Assassinate is going to follow him. Oh, he's gone. Mid-air as well. BY still trying to survive through this. Does get the Nightmare off. Still is running, but eventually will drop here to Pakaz. But it's still a great trade the way of Xtreme Gaming. They'll secure the mid lane for a position 5 death. And boom, they all rotated. The whole team is here to try and get some form of a trade, but it really amounts to nothing. So even a bit of wasted time here from boom.
Yeah, pretty big find for the side of Xtreme, just getting that jump on Slardom. Getting some activity out for XM, some much needed gold. Full Hurricane Pike up now for the Sniper, BKB. Still a ways off. But again, you are starting to build into that point. You're starting to build up that net worth lead as well. I mean, this Deuce is still a concern 2k above, because very close to the full disperser. But everyone else is suffering on Boom to get that done. Like, Sacred is not much more farmed than Sin Q on the pause 4 Marcy. Not good news for the Tiny. Echo Saber timing thrown off as well. And Sin Q, he's already very close to that BKB on the Marcy. 200 gold away, basically a secondary core now, once that's up. That's the concern for Boom. Are you sacrificing too much for the Dusa? At the moment, it feels like you might be, but the consequences aren't quite showing itself fully yet.
Pakaz will go ahead and pick up a disperser now, so the space for the Medusa is slowly paying off. He'll go for a butterfly up next. XM going to find himself an amplified damage room. Not going to do too much with it, I don't think, but well, I say that, he's going to smoke up with his team. There's your BKB available that you just mentioned on Sin Q, so he is basically another core at the moment. Rushing from Xtreme, they're going to find Slardom. That's a great pick-off if they can get it, and they will. No chance of survival. Once the stun and the corrosive haze is on, it's just too much damage.
Yeah, and we were talking about this timing for Xtreme Gaming earlier. They just needed a way to bring XXS into the fight. Since he's gotten his blink, he's been taking that activity with the team. Even XM more than willing to show up now as well. With that amp damage room, should be able to find Roshan if they want to force this out. MOUZ will give away that position. They are aware that something is going on here, but it's not going to take too long for Roshan with a corrosive haze, with his amp damage rune running, well, fading away now, but just with a corrosive haze and the sidekick, you have more than enough to clear through Rosh. There is a smoke out. Boom might be able to take the follow-up fight.
They could make it. I mean, Sacred, he could just jump right in. It's too late though. The Aegis is taken. They're still looking for the fight. Sacred, he could go for a bigger avalanche. He will find 3-man avalanche, tossing Arme back. They want that Aegis down immediately, though Sacred might have to give his life away for it, and does. Meanwhile, Sin Q, a 2-man rebound. He'll take down Knight and Panda. Slardom, he'll pop the Rolling Thunder now. Meanwhile, Pakaz on the high ground trying to survive, but he's almost out of mana in the Fiend's Grip. It's going to hold down the Rolling Thunder. Pakaz needs to run. He's completely out of mana, and he is down. A full team wipe from Xtreme Gaming. And boom, I mean, I could see what they were trying to do, but they just don't make it in time to contest the Roshan, and it just cost them so heavily.
And it's just way too late. The timing just wasn't lined up. Sacred finds pretty much what would be close to a perfect initiation to follow through for Slardom, but they're cut off. That again, this BKB timing for Sin Q. The fact that our POS 4 Marcy is more net worth than our POS 3 Tiny, it's causing so many issues. Just the BKB allowing him to run up, rip up the backline, prevent Slardom from finding the follow-up for Sacred jumping in. Just ruins everything that Boom wants to do there.
Very, very rough. That's going to be a problem for the foreseeable future here for Boom. Like, Sin Q is literally just going to be able to jump in very, very freely every single time.
Oh, I love this as well. He's the one going for defusal. We were asking that question. Is it Sniper, Gyro, or the Marcy? It's going to be the support Marcy, so you don't even need to go anything weird in your 2 cores build-up. They can go standard, Daedalus perhaps on Ame down the line. XM can go for Mjolnir if he wants, or his own Daedalus. Maybe even get silly with a Konda. But you will melt through Pakaz. Just a Marcy support with defusal. That's going to be enough.
Moment to be taken here by Boom to boot. Of course, he did get the shards on our Marcy as well, so Sin Q even a bit of a bonus there for himself. That rebound a hell of a lot more annoying to play against, that's for sure. Xtreme Gaming now 10k ahead. Aegis is still up, so Army's going to try and pressure that top tier 1 tower. There will be no form of defense. It was already very low on HP. Army farming right towards the Daedalus up next. You can tell Xtreme they would not mind a team fight right now.
No.
They'll head into that Radiant Triangle. They'll see if they can find anybody, but Because Boom will immediately escape.
And you have to respect the spike. 10k lead coming out from Xtreme.
Middle tower is under
Everything's lined up. They've got the grip back up. They've got Aetherlance up in DY. He's got the Philostone. Could try to slowly work up to maybe a Blink, maybe a Glimmer Cape, maybe an Ags down the line for DY if he's allowed. They're grouping up over with XXS. They got the Atos off, but not really a target that feels easy to pin down. Looking for a little bit more, but not going to be able to find it. They do have forward vision here on the side of Boom, right around the Lotus Pool, so they can afford to sit back a little bit. Still, Xtreme, it feels like they're game in control now, right? They've got the Daedalus slowly coming out from Ame, just lacking that Demon Edge, 300 gold away. You've got the full BKB for XM, so he's not worried about the jump from Slatum any longer. He can just hold his ground, get his hits, get the Assassinate off. Oh, they do kill Panda. I mean, it's Marcy.
That was by himself. Yeah, he just gets the job done. XXS, he found a two-man stun right by the tier 2 bottom tower. With the BKB up, they can't really hope to take him out either. He'll just TP out right in front of them and he's going to be fine. A 4-man rotation and you'll find nothing out of it. Sacred is still trying, but DY going to ensure he gets put to sleep. XM now going to get to work. Picard's still trying to rush forward, but can't actually move against the sniper. Will be forced to walk away.
The engaging gameplay up against Sniper, of course. Take aim and all of those quacks from the Immortal. All you hear is the quacks when you try to run up. Because is finding out
are scanning.
top tier gameplay right now. Of course, he's still not doing too bad here in Medusa. Again, number 1 in net worth, not that big of a gap. Going for his own Daedalus, so finding some damage, some bigger burst damage coming out from Medusa. It's just, does that matter when SinQ has a defusal? That's my question now. It doesn't feel like it does.
I don't think so.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Tier 2 bottom tower. Going down very, very quickly here to Xtreme.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
He's going to show himself in the mid lane. Looks like he is kind of starting to struggle to find an area to farm in, and Ame has now officially overtaken when it comes to the net worth. Kaz will farm the Radiant Triangle, but Xtreme Gaming know he's probably around here somewhere. Meanwhile, top lane, they have found themselves a Pengali. Slatum is down, DY with a perfect setup, and of course, ThinQ just annihilates.
I love Marcy support when it has a good game. Knight, not safe.
Yeah, certainly not. You don't want to go fight against ThinQ right now. He's a big boy.
The optics of Marcy chasing down Hoodwink is kind of bad. Beating down a squirrel with her fists. For what reason?
He deserves it, no?
For what? Why? Why are we saying that about your fellow Australian?
Oh, Panda. Unfortunate. He almost got the TP away. Fellow Australian, John, she's, I believe the voice actor is New Zealand.
Ah, what's the difference?
Like, don't you dare. Don't you dare start this fight with me.
I'm sure if Nat was listening to you, like, oh, he's going there. I'd have two
Sacred. Ame just casually chasing down Sacred. Like, there's just no fear right now from Xtreme. They are just rushing the side of Boom. Picard's even going to show up. This could be very dangerous. He'll pop the Stone Gaze and he'll just get the hell out of there.
Radiant's middle
He
tower
saw SinQ. He wanted to fight that. He wanted to jump the Dusa. The Unleash was just so short off cooldown. I mean, this is not something that you can manage with all of Boom. The way it has to go for Boom is a really good position from Sacred, with a toss back, and follow through from Slatum. He needs his blink up. He's still 700 gold away, 700, 800 gold away from that. But once that's up, maybe it starts to simplify it a little bit more.
They have done ThinQ. He has his BKB who actually go for the fight, and Sacred is dying to the support as a position 3, and there's nothing they can do about it. ThinQ gets the kill. He does not have rebound for now. He needs 3 more seconds to get away, and he will not have the XXS. He'll jump in for an extra one. He'll find Panda. A 2-for-1 trade. ThinQ, once again, confidently setting up for his team.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, that's what you have to do when you're a Marcy support. You know, you have to be aggressive, you have to take point, you have to have that confidence. With the items he has no reason to not be confident. Heck, he's almost at Disperser. He's above Slatum's farm. He's above Slatum's farm. 2k above the Pango. That's the state of the game for Boom. I feel it's rough for Boom. I hope if Gary Onko's watching, please don't send me angry DMs. Thank you.
He actually tweeted at us, Jonathan. He was laughing at that tweet, but I doubt he's laughing right now. We love you, Gary. Happy birthday, by the way.
Belated happy birthday. Drinks on
I
you.
think so here, John. 14 to 24, 18k net worth advantage for Xtreme. What do you do in this situation? Obviously, all the farms on Picard. So it's kind of a 1v5 situation here for Picard. It feels like because no other core in his team has any farm. Quite frankly. How long do you think they can drag this game out to really allow this Medusa that point where she might be a problem?
I think you just start sacrificing your supports, let them go forward, get some D wards going. This is some really far forward vision from Xtreme. And they're not able to use their own wards as well on the opposite side of the map, so you might as well start warding defensively here. And they will clear out with Panda at the very least, but these wards from Xtreme are already watching towards the high ground, watching on just the lower area to set up for the siege, get some catch-outs first. There's some key timings starting to form up here. And you've got the full MKB already up on XM, he's going for the Scotty. I saw him go for Diffusal, but switches around, realizing that he doesn't need Diffusal when SyncQ is basically a core. So why double down on that? I do like that Boom starting to play around her vision a little bit more. Ame could be a big target if they isolate him here, but don't have that far forward vision.
No, they do not. Problem is as well, Ame does have BKB ready with him. It's a 9-second charge and he has TP available, so it's kind of hard to expect him to actually secure a kill here against Ame, even as 4. Now Xtreme Gaming doing up as 5. They'll have the Satanic on Ame. They want to go right for the gank attempt. Mines will reveal somewhat of their position. Oh, Pakaz. Pakaz could be in a bit of danger here. He'll pop the Disperser and try to run, but he's kind of surrounded. Pakaz is a very awkward situation for him. He'll go for the Stone Gaze to try and survive through this. Problem is now SyncQ right on top. And Pakaz knows he is as good as dead. Panda does too. Panda jumped in for some fun. 2 down for the price of nothing.
That should be an opening towards the high ground. No buyback for Pakaz for some time. You have the buyback in Panda, but this is the time to get that opening for Xtreme. There's not been time for Panda to sit back, try to play Proxmite at high ground. It's 3 minutes in. Not quite late enough for that yet. Ame is covering some damage, but he has the Satanic, he has the safety net. The siege does not take long here.
No, absolutely not. Sacred. Getting the hell out of there. Tier 3 tower is already gone. Xtreme Gaming just looking so damn dominant in this game number 1. Making it look, quite frankly, very easy. So after the laning stage, completely running down the side of Boom. This is off the back of Pakaz having one of the best starts we've probably seen on a Medusa. Just unable to really translate to much in this game 1 so far. Xtreme Gaming, they're not really going to give themselves any chance of losing this game by taking 2 Raxes, maybe looking for the Mega Creeps already. Just, how do you even defend this, right? Like, it's just, you've only got 1 core with farm, and he's not even the most farmed here on the map.
It just goes back again. Boom needs to be able to play around her vision. But their wards are on a part of the map that they're barely at. They need to ward around their own side of the river, get some wards out onto the outpost, onto their bot jungle area. Try to jump around to that. You've got Tiny, you've got a Pango with Blink. You need to play the pickoff game. And just feed off these pickoffs, try to catch up on these 2 cores. Try to match Pakaz's farm. But it's easier said than done. Again, they've not been able to really dip outside. They've got some room now to play their side of the river. Xtreme, Roshan's up. They've scouted it out. They can go for that first. They've got all the damage in the world. Butterfly coming in for Ame next. They've got, again, the Scotty not too far off for XM. SyncQ has the full Disperser, and he's going ham. He's going straight Daedalus if this goes long.
Oh, I love it. I love it. 21. He deserves it. He's 11-3 and 11 on this CT master. That is a real nice performance from him. Roshan gone. Xtreme Gaming will, of course, take it, and Ame will pick up the Aegis. Knight trying to hide at that top lane. Should be okay. There's no vision around this area from Xtreme. Of course, trying to just creep skip as best as he possibly can. Too easy to defend that high ground though. 1 Rax to be taken. They'll keep trying to creep skip here with this Hoodwink. Xtreme though, they control pretty much all the map. There's a 27k net worth advantage their way, and of course, once they have a creep wave, you are almost certainly going through that top lane.
Yeah, not going to take them too long. Again, Knight staying behind. is causing some issues for the creep wave to catch up on top, but they've got mid and bot just shoving in anyway. So eventually the opportunity should present itself. Full butterfly up now on Ame. It's a ridiculous damage output for our Gyrocopter. Insane lifesteal with Sidekick plus Satanic. I don't know if you can really kill him off, even if you stun him up, as long as he pops Satanic. Even without Satanic, again, just a little bit of that Sidekick, and if Xinq's hitting someone, they're not gonna die, they'll try.
What's there? Sacred, he's gonna try Ame in the middle of nowhere, but his team is right behind him. Dispose out. Sacred gets deleted by Xinq. Slaughter's been held down by the Fiend's Grip. He's gone to boot. This is just an absolute massacre in the Radiant base, as Xinq will find another. Can they at least take the Marcy down? Xinq's still alive, and now Pakaz has been caught. He's out of mana. They can't even find the support Marcy. It's time. See you later. That's game 1 down. Xtreme Gaming. I mean, they made it look real damn easy.
Yeah, they did. No, again, the laning phase was a little bit slower here for Xtreme. It felt like, especially XXS, his
Game. Again, game 2 is now officially underway. 5-man smoke on each side. Of course, to get those wards down in the mid lane early. Is, you know me, John, I'd love a game 3 here between these two teams. At least the closer game 2, at the very least, is what I'd probably appreciate, because game 1 was maybe a little bit too one-sided for my liking.
It was definitely a little bit more dominant from Xtreme. Again, the laning phase felt pretty good for Boom, though, all things considered. Oz lane just went so well. Kind of want to see them try to replicate that for the Luna, and it's kind of the same story. You're going to hit your item spikes quite fast. Maybe not as fast as Adusa, but we'll see if that's something they can kind of get going for there. I'm really curious to see how well XM does on the Bloodseeker mid. Again, a matchup against Pango does make sense. It's a melee hero matchup for Bloodseeker. The Pangolier still has a lot to play with Swash and Shield Crash, but you should be able to sustain your way through here for XM.
Xinq gets Pakaz disposed. Xinq might be the one in danger now as he goes for a bit of a run. Really on the wrong side of the map, needs his teammates to come over, though Xinq's still running away, but they've slowed him up with the enchant now, and that should be the first one to go the way of Boom, and it will. Panda the one to take it. I think Pakaz really wanted that last hit, but will be unable to secure. And it is still a 2-for-2 trade on the bounties, I believe. So no, it's going to be a 3-for-1. XM able to secure the third. Sacred taking a fair bit of damage on his way out of the top lane to boot, but a fantastic start for Boom to get things started for game 2.
Nice little pick up on Xinq, who just overextends a little bit. XXS not ready to commit on his level 1, while keeping it open between the Trample and Uproar, giving the Onslaught if need be there as well. Taking a look at that mid lane, you do have the Bloodseeker up against the Pangolier. And again, this lane is rather interesting, not something you see too often. It shouldn't be too rough for Pango, but it's also not that bad for Bloodseeker. Really good right click to kind of trade back with Slap him. And you always have that Blood Right. As long as Swash isn't there yet, you still have a lot of play. You can kind of just shove out a Creep Wave, get some sustain up once you have level 2 for the Tourist. It shouldn't be unmanageable for XM, and you can see how much that builds up. The other lane should be a lot more action-packed. Xinq this time expecting the slower lane. It was just going for the pullback, playing a little bit greedy on the Marcy, trying to soak the XP. Which is nice, because you are up against the Enchantress with the Enchant, the slowed, rundown, the healing sustain for Panda. It's a lot easier for him to play this lane up against Xinq this time around.
Yeah, absolutely. And he still does manage to get that range before it does get denied here by Panda. XXS is going to be the one to take the creep wave anyway, so Xinq not really getting as much out of this, but more than happy to ensure his offlane is having a good time. Panda now going to be really annoying with the Satir Mind Stealer, just draining some mana from Xinq, but is still going to need to run his way out as Xinq is just not giving up on the chase. This man really just wants to throw hands at all times, apparently. And XXS, he's going to get a fair bit of farm out of that little rotation from our Marcy.
Yep, as mentioned, get the creep wave fairly freely. There's a lot of creeps coming out on Pakaz, though. Some good farm to find still. Level 3 is when that lane really starts to pop off. Down mid, a lot of back and forth here with XM and Slatin. Again, there is some good damage here for the Pango to play with. But as long as you can CS here on XM, they're not going to be fully shoved away as long as you kind of play your cards right.
Sacred in another difficult position is going to go down to Ame. Spin and the Inksaw combination makes very light work of the Brewmaster. Sadly for Knight and Sacred, they really haven't been able to abuse this combination against the Jug, which again does make sense because you can just spin off all the damage you do have, but It's pretty rough. You do want Sacred to have a better game than last time around.
That is for sure. At the least, again, Brewmaster can sit back and farm and it's still going to have impact. As long as you have the split ready, as long as the EXP flows in, you're fine. But having this good start in the jug is concerning. Ame is going for the full Battle Fury build-up. He's going to have constant damage coming out. He's going to have a way of cleaving through some of the early Brewlings as well. Not that much HP on him. They're getting some decent damage out, but again, he even still has the healing ward ready, so there's always some sustain to play with. And the lanes this time are looking pretty decent for Xtreme. Again, with the exception of Pakazi, who's still finding a ton of farm. Everything else does feel pretty alright for Xtreme. Ame's doing fine, but it's lagging slightly behind in CS, especially in comparison to Pakaz. So that could be the one difference maker. Just Pakaz timing again. Early farm, just early build up on the Luna, which he can achieve quite faster in comparison to a Jug who's still gonna have to wait around for a Battle Fury.
1-1. Him and Slardom still going at it. Slardom having a much better laning stage, I would argue, than last game around. Only 2 CS behind XM at the moment. He's going to do quite a bit of farm on this Pangolier, of course, looking for that Lincoln Spear after the Fusel Blade if he can. This lane's looking fairly quiet, nobody getting too aggressive. Pakaz again having a fantastic time in terms of CS, 25 and 5 now on the Luna. So this was to be kind of expected, the man does know how to farm.
It's just a little bit harder for XXS to try to leverage that aggression, right? The enchant just holds you back quite badly. Try to play around with a trample. Even if you commit the onslaught, you can't really do too much without putting yourself in the firing line. You do manage to get a gate usage here from DY. Maybe find an angle here, but the TP's instantaneous here from Knight.
Exposed because he's the target. Oh, nice bushwhack out from Knight, locking both of them down. Q will drop. XXS will be able to get at least onslaught away. But now DY in pretty big trouble. No real way out for himself. He's got a bit of regen if he wants to commit it, but it won't really make the difference, I don't think. He'll use the 1 charges, but does hold on to the Lotus. Pakaz gets a double.
Yeah, it's again a little bit reminiscent of how the early game of Game 1 went. Bullying XXS quite bad. Q just trying to buy some space here.
Oh, another great bushwhack here. Locking him down, though. Onslaught is going to be out on tonight. XXS trying to desperately get a trade going for himself. He's going to be careful not to give his own life away, but does get the final right click on Knight. Seems like Pakaz and Panda not able to trade away again, as even DY is going to TP back down towards the bottom lane. They'll look towards Panda now. Panda is going to be able to retreat back towards the T1. He will be all right.
And they're just going to run the tri-lane. You can leave top alone solo. Both sides can farm up. And a little bit of a better time for Sacred in that solo lane. Still going for the pull. They are allowed to get away with this, Q.
Oh, a bit too far. Does manage to bounce away, but not quite. Pakaz still finds the right click in the Lucent Beam. DY now being chased down. Pakaz does have an Lucent Beam available, just needs a bit of vision. Inkspell will not actually land onto the Luna, sadly. They will have the slows eventually to come in on DY, who will try for perhaps a deny, but it will not work. In fact, Slardom comes in to take the kill for himself.
This is where things get a little bit slower for the side of Xtreme. You've got a mid-Bloodseeker. He's not going to be able to show up and help you in these fights. Early on, he can try to go for some Rupture plays, perhaps, in wider team fights, but you have a farming mid that's farming the same pace as your top. There's no one really to connect with XXS outside of the supports. You just kind of have to cop a little bit of a slower game and just hope that the investment pays off. It does feel like, again, Boom is winning out in the lanes quite nicely. Knight, though. Oof.
Oh, gets it
Neutral.
right at least. Right. To get his way out. Q still being an absolute menace, but it'll secure that time around as they are racing now for the Wisdom Rune. And they're not going to quite make it in time, though. Q still on the ball. Able to secure. 5-2 now, 7 minutes in. The chase is on for Panda. And that's sadly going to run right into XXS, though a nice little ensnare is going to stop him just a little bit. Panda, well, he'll heal up. The onslaught will land. TPs are incoming. Panda is actually still alive. He will barely make his way out. Q now being chased down by Pakaz. Pakaz, can he secure the kill? He has a lucent beam in one, but it's only level 1. So instead he'll turn onto XXS, hoping for the bigger kill anyway. Slardom will take care of the Marcy. XXS one hit away, will heal up just a little bit, still running, but the chase is on. Can they catch the Primal Beast? Knight is trying his absolute best to keep up for a bushwhack. So is Pakaz. Lucent beam will land. The Acorn shot does land to boot. XXS is still managing to run his way out though. Oh, Slardom, no! He barely misses. A nice attempt.
Oh, that's so much time. They are bleeding out down bot, but they are making Boom work for it. Rupture.
Onto Knight. Heals are incoming from Panda, but it's not really going to help out the Hoodwink too much, I don't think. Knight does go down, and now Panda going to find itself in danger. The chase is on, but Panda is going to be okay behind that T1. In fact, here comes Slardom now looking to see Q's life. The impetus will be there, but it's not quite enough. In fact, now they find the edge. Panda goes down. Slardom is still trying to snipe Q. Can he get him with a swashbuckle? He won't even try for it. Instead, he'll go for the arcane route.
Some punishment finally coming out for Xtreme. Rupture paying off for XM. Again, the one thing you're achieving here on Xtreme is a lot of free space for Ame. Instead of being pressured up top from a solo lane with a Brewmaster with some rotations on top, no one can come up top because of all of this action elsewhere. So the Jug is allowed to kind of keep pace going into that battlefield, which again, still a ways off, but that space is there. They are sacrificing XXS extremely for this, but the Primal Beast doesn't need too much to be online, has the Soul Ring phase boots. You are pretty set to just make some plays now with level 6 up on XXS. And that does lead to a rather even game to start already. 6-4, less than 1k lead up for Boom, but Xtreme not in a bad game state. Not just yet, at least. And the aggression can still come out here for Boom. They are lining up top, like Slatom's camping around. They've got the split ready on Sacred. So they could look to make a play on this push. Risky defense for Xtreme if they do pop out here.
Ame's going to show himself. Sacred, he does have that Primal Split available. Won't pop it quite yet though. Slardom does reveal himself to boot, but again, they are not going to fully commit. That'll be enough information for Ame to slowly retreat. When I say retreat, he's still hanging around trying to farm up a little bit. Meanwhile, bottom lane. Take down the T1 bottom tower. There'll be no real defense to come here from Boom. Xtreme will get away with that scot-free, but the trade is happening top anyway. It's just a little bit slow. In fact, they could think about defending with this glyph being committed. But they won't.
Just go for the tower trade. Again, Xtreme Gaming, their lineup does take a lot more time to come online. You're talking about the Bloodseeker and the Jug. Bloodseeker mid just needs a lot to cook up. Maelstrom not too far off for XM. Just lacking that full Mithril Hammer now. Good forward wards being set up already from Boom. Same spots as last time. But that does give some good information if Xtreme does decide to still stick around here. I do like that Slatom's just willing to play. Like, no fear, doesn't care about the Bloodseeker, knowing that XM's probably not going to be trying to mirror his movement just yet. You can look to try to apply pressure even before diffusal's up, which it's not too far off now for that timing. Again, 6-4, rather even in net worth. Overall, you're getting a lot slower for start for Q. This is not going to be a game where we see that quick BKB on the Marcy. You have that to at least look forward to for Boom. Not going to have to worry about the Marcy too badly, XM.
Chase on Panda. Panda still not level 6, so does not have Untouchable, that he will try for a TP play out and will make it. Slardom, he'll move in, trying to go after XM. They'll pop the Primal Split as well from Sacred. They'll make the rush onto the Bloodseeker. Ame's hanging around in case he needs to help out. He does have Omni Slash available. Meanwhile, here comes XXS. Sacred is still trying to chase down this Grimstroke, but DY, he survives through all of it for now. Sacred, do you really want to keep going? They'll take down DY, but now the Brewmaster, he's in the middle of nowhere. How is he going to make his way out? The answer is he probably will not. The Sacred will sacrifice his life for a Grimstroke killing. I really cannot say that's worth.
No, not the ideal scenario. That's great identification from Boom, though. Like, they saw the early Rupture commitment onto Panda. They take that opportunity to try to play with a roll and a split. It's just that the follow-through wasn't really there. You didn't have your Hoodwink round to try to help control. And you had enough to kind of escape there from Xtreme, just enough to kind of dance around. Even Ame joining in on the fun. So again, a rather even game state.
They saw him. Sammy's going to move back in though. Does. He'll get away with that large camp. He's alright. Car's farming very, very well right now. Top of the net worth board. 1.5k ahead of Ame. Almost has the match style up here on the Luna. Speaking of Ame, Bottom's going to find him. Ame taking a fair bit of damage. Will spin away. There's no follow-up to it.
You are still waiting for this Battle Fury timing on Ame to really catch up and farm. Not too far off now. Just 10 gold away, so it's basically up and ready. And should start to equalize with Pakaz, but Pakaz just given all the space to play his own game. It's in queue.
Hey, what the hell? Mid lane, there's a smoke up here. Exodus and DY.
Got the blink up.
Initiations from XXS. If he does find himself a target, they're going to look towards Sacred, who will reveal himself at the top lane. No Prime will speak for another 13 seconds. I've got time to try and take him down before he does have the ult available. Ame will move into Burt. The run is there, but it will not work out. Sacred once again being caught with his pants down. Farming very far forward. He's trying his absolute best to get towards that Radiance timing, but it is going to be set back once again.
Yeah, it's an important kill for them to find an Xtreme. And great blink reveal out for XXS. Simple kill, not committing too much. Really just the pulverize, which is fairly low cooldown anyway. They're getting some good space out for XM and for Ame, and just play it the way they want to. Got that Maelstrom up on XM, so he can keep up in farm, going for the full Glade here. XXS just going to clear out some camps away from Papaz, but this isn't the firing line.
He's the pig out and run. Problem is there is still a chase going on. Cinder Group is going to land here and now. XXS. Oh, it's a very heavy cost for taking that camp away because able to pick up a kill and Knight will take the other. Great setup once again from Boomin, but now they can look towards that mid-tier 1.
They've got the damage for this with Pakaz joining in. Manta style not too far off now for our Luna, and maintaining a good lead here on the side of Boom. Overall, Team Network's not too far off, and a lot of this investment is only going on to Pakaz.
Onto Panda, the bushwhack. Barely off the mark, but it doesn't matter. Panda, he's still going to be able to walk his way out. That'll be Omni slash down for 2 minutes. Not that Ame really minds per se, but would have probably liked that little bit of bonus gold from that kill. Even Panda taking a Wild Wing Ripper away from the jug, being an absolute nuisance. Speaking of nuisances, now you've got the Radiance completed on Sacred. This could be very annoying for Xtreme to try and play.
We've got 2 right-click cores in the Bloodseeker and the Jug. The mischance is just going to be pretty big boost in durability here for the side of Boom. Heck, even just wasting a couple of slashes on Omni could be fairly annoying as well for Ame. Still, you are still in a rather even game. Again, it's just a matter of time for Xtreme. It's patience here, although.
The Rolling Thunder going on to DY. DY going to pop the Soulbind, but he cancels the Rolling Thunder immediately. Will take the kill. Gaming once again beating a kill away the way of Boom. Much more even. Game number 2 that we're watching here between these two teams. Boom still holding on to that 1k advantage, which again isn't really the highest advantage we've ever seen, but still a much better position than they were last game around.
Definitely. So feels like they're not taking as big of risks with Pakaz. They're allowing him to just sit back, farm a little bit longer, not forcing him into a lot of these early engagements. Just look for the simple pickoffs.
Slot him. Oh, Rupture is there, disposes out, and slot him. Just deleted as now in queue. We've seen this one before. Knight's going to try to get his way out, and he will be okay, but they found the much bigger target anyway. Now everyone just TPs away, but sadly there's no bushwhack for Knight to try and cancel with.
And they get the big one they want. Again, slowing down Slatum, getting some important kills for SinQ to actually find into that BKB that he is farming up. Boom is playing around their vision a lot better though. Again, hanging around top with her ward. Panda though?
It's got a danger, Panda. Pretty far forward. I suppose you do get a bit of information for your team, but that is going to be a kill fit the way of Ame. That'll be the 4th one of the game for him. And now he's just a point booster away from the Ags being up. This Juggernaut is slowly becoming a bit of a problem.
Definitely is. Once he has some attack speed to back up that swift slash, the damage is just going to pour out. Just needs a little bit more form. But again, the lead's not widening here for Boom at the pace you'd want it to. Still, Slatum.
Rupture's up in 2 seconds. Slatum does think better of it, does immediately retreat. Smoke is out though. Side of Xtreme, they want to get going. They know exactly where Boom are. They're going to pop their own smoke here, Boom, but Ame, he just runs right in and breaks it. No care in the world from the Jug. He's very confident as they go for the polarize, and now there's no way to lock him down with the Omni Slash. Oh, it's a real problem. It's a real big problem for Boom. They got put in the blender. Panda's going to try to get his way out, but there's no way out from this one, I don't think. Oh, you love to see a Soulbind plus an Omni Slash, and it really is just that easy.
They just all line up. Great read from Xtreme for the smoke. Boom instantly smoking up as well, but not ditching that area. Does get punished. The confidence from Ame, knowing that the spin is just going to save him anyway, does set that all up for Xtreme. They just break that smoke. They take this flank. They get a good use finally from the Soulbind, and just all lines up. Double Rupture, double Omni. It just feels impossible for Boom. They need to be able to start these fights on their own terms. It has to open up with a split, with a really good roll, but Slatin popped it early, which led to that smoke out from Xtreme. I'm surprised they tried to retake that position, considering that they had no roll. It just feels too important, along with a split. It has to be both of them at once.
Yeah, you get to kind of see the replay, Ame almost daring them to come in, and it just looked a bit too tasty of an opportunity, but when the Soulbind Omni Slash comes out, they just absolutely get blended here. With that, I mean, Boom, they just had absolutely no chance. And it really does go back to the fact that Rolling Thunder was just committed. Xtreme Gaming understood how big of an advantage they did have if the fight was to proceed, and what surely did.
They have to be cautious about that on Boom. Xtreme bounce back into the game. 3K lead up 10-11. It's a little bit of a later timing, but this does feel like a little bit of a mirror from game one. Right, Xinq starts to find a couple of kills, starts to work his way onto the BKB. Ame starts to get aggressive on his carry with a Jug. We've got XM, who's almost at the BKB, already has the Gleipnir up, more control for these team fights. And then you've got XS, who's also very close to his own BKB. Like, these timings are very scary for Boom to play into. Because again, all of your investment went into Pakas. It's only onto the Luna. He's about to have a BKB, that's great, but Slatim's about 700 gold behind. They have the same situation for Sacred in comparison to XXS. They're massively behind compared to Ame and XM. It's all in on this Luna to kind of carry you through. And it just feels like it needs some backup. You know, you need to be able to play with this Primal Split from Sacred. You need to be able to play with a roll.
That's okay. Ame spares him. Xinq will pick up the shards for himself once again. Speaking of Xinq, he's about 800 gold away from the full BKB now. While mid, pulverizes out, they are going to find themselves some venison. That should be a very easy kill up the pan.
Yep. Nice simple pick off, doesn't cost them much. No big cooldowns expended. Just building up that lead to 6K now on Xtreme. Fresh BKB for XXS, still ready to go as well. And for Boom, I don't know at what point you feel really confident on Pakas. I mean, he has the Manta, BKB, along with a MOM. Maybe with a shard, you start to feel a little bit more confident. You find some Q here.
A decent pick off the take, but Xinq's actually just going to go for the fight himself. And he's kind of winning the fight. Slatum's forced to pop the Rolling Thunder. Xinq, can he make some magic happen? He'll juke out once, dispose, but no. He is down, but that is a very demoralizing kind of kill to get.
I mean, you almost don't even find it. You almost get traded instead. And that opens up Xtreme to take Roshan. Rosh number one for this game. No problem at all for Ame and XM to find all while that's happening up top. Like, it's a worthwhile trade. The scan does find them. I don't think they can contest in time. It's just Panda nearby. With Sacred, it's not enough to contest this. You got a nice freebie going your way here on the side of Xtreme. I love this on Ame, just going straight MKB. Like, the attack speed's going to be big. You know Pakas at some point will try to gun for Butterfly. This prevents that on the Luna. And just, again, maximizes that Swift Slash, maximizes that Omni Slash with more attack speed. Ton of value out for Ame here, once that's up and running. You get more defense as well on XM with a BKB flying out into the Lincolns. So again, just not wanting to get pinned down by Just the Brewmaster and the Hurricane up.
Is going to go down top lane. XinQ actually had his BKB recipe on the Courier. Sadly, will not get there in time. Bottom lane, they have found the Enchantress once again, though there are a lot of TPs incoming. Perhaps they can look for a big trade here. Panda's down. However, Arme could be in a spot of danger as they do stun him up. He's got Omni Slash available, who pop it immediately, trying to survive through this, but it's bouncing right through the Brewlings. It is not looking good for Arme. He will lose his first life. Meanwhile, DY will go down. Arme's the target, though. He'll go for the spin TP away. Do they have the damage? They do not. They give up. XM, BKB TP away is also going to make it. Ouch.
At the least, they do manage to force out the BKB of XM. That is down to 8 seconds now. And you also did manage to force it out on XXS. You managed to take away Aegis and equalize the game down to a 3k net worth advantage instead. Rather unfortunate for Ame that the on-slash didn't quite connect. And they were a little bit too far apart. XM wasn't close enough to play with a Soulbind. They didn't manage to get Soulbind Rupture in time. Silence not coming out as fast as you'd want to as well. Kind of holds back Xtreme from really capitalizing on that. The game evens out just a little bit. 13 to 13, 3k lead left for the side of Xtreme. No secondary life. But the MKB for Ame, not too far off now. And once he has that with the attack speed he's playing with, again, like that Swift Slash is going to do a lot of work. The Omni is going to be much more valuable here as well. XinQ, if you can join in with these fights with a sidekick and unleash with a BKB, things can start to line up. Boom, they're not out of it by any means, though. And they've got their play. They need to time themselves around the split and around the roll. As long as they can play around those big spells, they do have superior teamfight control here.
They absolutely do. Only a 3k advantage the way of Xtreme is still a very close game too, as the Panda gonna have to receive the hands of XinQ. Will go down. XinQ though, maybe sticking around a bit too long, could be in a spot of danger, but no, he has his BKB up and Slardum. He's gonna cop a Rupture. Slardum is down. XinQ still running. Surely they get him and they will. But it's a pretty heavy cost once again for Boom.
Going 2 for 1, only finding the support, sacrificing Slardum again. Sure, again, this is not a runaway game for XinQ, but he's still being a massive nuisance on this Marcy. And this opens up the follow-up fight now for the side of Xtreme. Full MKB up now on Ame. Still has to be a bit cautious about that damage flying out, but is just going to be able to walk it through. Again, more value now on the Omni, a little bit more value on the Swift as well. 5k lead bouncing back here for Xtreme. I like the build, again, of XM, just understanding he doesn't need much damage. It's all on Ame. Just needs to go for the Lincolns, needs to go for some defense here. And just manage to get the Rupture off. As long as they do that, then it's just super awkward for the side of Boom to even consider their angles here. Props to Boom, though. They've got good wards watching this bot area. Xtreme have been playing pretty much hugging bot lane. So this Cliff Ward's going to do a lot of work for them, as it already has. They really want this tier 2.
Cars, he's got vision. He knows they're around. The Cars, he's going to be okay. Thankfully, DY does not place an Observe Ward on that high ground. Ooh, sticking around to defend this T2 tower. They'll catch Arme once with the pushback to take this one down quickly. It seems like they cannot with the spin. No, it's not enough. A perfect kill here. Arme going down. The big target you really like to see is DY. Rod of Atos will lock him down into the bushwhack, and for Boom, they find themselves a very nice couple of targets.
Just unfortunate. Like, the fact that you can't use Omni in the spin really makes it hard in some scenarios. Just make that decision on the jug. Big punishment out from Boom. Again, dropping that lead back right down to 3k. Hold on.
He's going to find himself a couple of targets here. This could be a pretty bad fight for Xtreme Gaming. It's a 3v5 situation. XXS has still jumped in, trying to go after the Hoodwink. They'll take down Knight. It'll be a 3v4 now. XinQ, he just wants to go. He just wants to fight. XinQ,
oh my God.
You've got to calm down, sir.
Oh my God.
XinQ is still just going against the whole side of Boom. Oh, he will finally go down. My goodness. Somebody tell XinQ to calm down.
The opposite of washing his face, I suppose. Just a hot towel to calm down there, XinQ. No need to get all angry and rushing around here. That does cost him a little bit. And again, Boom is starting to find some leeways in They're starting to get that damage going. And the protection for Bakaz, now that he has the shard, along with the damage his Conda does, with that Lucent Beam, it is ripping through the side of Xtreme if they're not cautious. They need to be playing together as a team. I feel like they've been really fractured when these fights break out. They're taking these 5v5s as 4. Instead, you know, when they jump in, maybe sometimes Sinq's not there with the sidekick. Sometimes XM's not in position off the back of the Soul Bind for the Rupture. And just makes everything following through really tough for the side of Xtreme right now.
Sacred. Success threatening the onslaught in. Does do so, but is out of range to catch the Brewmaster. 1k advantage Xtreme's way. Win probability actually still Xtreme's way as well. It's 67%, which is a bit higher than I would have anticipated. Does go back to the Jug probably being the stronger carry against that Luna as you do kind of get into that late game stage. Bakaz is a big problem nonetheless. Gonna have his Satanic up rather soon.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
In fact, Bakaz hasn't even died this game. 7-0-6 so far. Was 400 last hits on the Luna.
Having grand time. Again, very reminiscent of game 1 without that mid engagement. Smoke on smoke here.
Could be big. Who gets caught first is the question. Arme's by himself down at that bottom side. His team's gone top. Oh, but they're not going to go that way. Boom, they're going to decide to go back up north instead. Xtreme are very sure that they're in the dire jungle somewhere, but they are not. They are still in the mid lane at the moment here, Boom. Seems like nobody's going to find anyone. The lines have been drawn around Arme's location. But Boom, they are quite slow to get there.
Not going to be able to capitalize. At least neither is Xtreme. And I feel like it's more important for Xtreme to make these smokes work right now. And they need to find some punishment on Bakaz, finally get that kill on that Luna. Because as the game sails on, I mean, sure, you have got 2 really strong scaling cores up against Luna. At the same time, there are 2 melee cores having to deal with Moonglaves active, plus the Satanic down the line. Like, there is actually a lot of sustain for Bakaz to play into the double melees quite nicely here. We saw XM a while ago in one of those fights just run away when the Moonglaves active was up. It just does way too much. So I don't know if this game fully simplifies for the side of Xtreme as time goes on. It stays equally challenging.
Oh, alright, they have done themselves a Pangolier, and the Rupture is going to ensure Slide's going to have a tough way out. He has made it so far. The Rolling Thunder, he's trying to charge it up, but he can't commit. Rupture just lasting a bit too long. The Slider is down. Panda's still messing around here up against XM. Needs to be a little bit cautious because XXS is looking to initiate once again. Does eventually back their way out, but they found themselves a great kill on the mid Pango. The car showing up now on the Luna, ready to go whenever, but we've seen this before. You really just do not want to have to fight without that Rolling Thunder being available.
No, it's, again, such a pivotal part for these team fights on Boom. They do have the split ready on Sacred, which can kind of somewhat compensate for that. Octarine for Sacred slowly being farmed up as well. Just playing poke with XXS. Roshan, the next objective to go. Xtreme in a position for it, but a good smoke out from Boom. They can get a good flank here. No vision, but they know that general area. They know this is around that time.
Sam, yeah, great target if you run into him.
Scan. Spots him out.
Scan is perfect. Xtreme Gaming, they know. Him trying to sneak his way back, not being enticed by the Lotus Pool. Bushwhack though, oh, he's going to force a BKB. XM, he'll go for a Rupture onto Knight, forcing the TP away, but a Gleipnir will cancel the TP. Now Xtreme Gaming, they do rush down towards the bottom lane. An immediate smoke out. Because they do not want to allow Roshan to go freely to Boom. Boom will smoke as well. Through the bot lane they go. Smoke is broken here on Xtreme. They'll jump XXS to get started. XXS though is perfectly fine. He'll pop the Yags up and just run for it though. He's popping a fair bit of damage. Still running, however, is the Marcy now jumping right back in. Sinq trying to get some work done. He's on a Panda. Meanwhile, XXS, he's still alive. Sacred is the one to go down. The cast, he's completely surrounded.
Oh, God.
Oh boy. A nice pushback from Knight to disengage, but it may not matter. Slardom is certainly going to go down. We'll have to look at a bit of a replay on that, but I think Xingqiu once again may have saved the day with that big rebound.
Nah, he did. Just the jumps in, just the insanity of Xingqiu to go in, break up these fights, keep them stuck in that blood right, get the silences off, and get the hits off. Marcy hit so hard. Has a Crystallis. The guy's just going Daedalus into Basher. All takes on the support Marcy. He is getting work done for the team. All of a sudden, 12k lead for Xtreme off the back of that fight. It looks so awkward. They get a good soul bind, and then Xingqiu just jumps in as the blood red comes out, and it just goes insane.
It looks like an easy kill off until he pops that BKB and just goes full HP once again, and XXS just surviving so damn long. He just makes it out. He never even dies. I mean, these Marcy picks, I'll tell you, like, Xingqiu might literally just be the best Marcy in the world right now with the way he's been playing.
I think he might be. He is showing off the past 2 games. Quite as hero is pretty damn strong. Well, he's got as much farm as Slat him again.
Not again! Oh no. He's going for the bash after as well, so there's just no chance of running.
Jesus. Oh my god, Xingqiu.
Well, prepare to see more support Marcy in your pups.
I like that. I love playing support with calling Mike.
But if they rush BKB and Daedalus, John, I mean, BKB's fine. Daedalus, you know?
BKB Daedalus, BKB Basher's more straightforward. Xingqiu's just a maniac. It is what it is. The guy's just crazy. Crazy good.
There you go. There's another one. He crit for 825 on the Hoodwink.
Perfectly balanced. Exactly what you like to see. Down the line, he has the Ags option as well. Very nice Ags. One of the best Ags in the game. Lower cooldown. A little bit of silence to come out. Why not? Why not get some AoE silence from a single target spell?
Why not? Boom. They're probably not very happy with the way this game's turned again. 15k advantage now to Xtreme Gaming. Slide him down the bottom lane. He's managed to escape away from XXS. Will just blink his way out. It does start to feel like the map is being dominated once again from the dire end of things. Sam, I think the Sacred here. Sacred. Not gonna bother trying to mess around. Both sides will see each other with these wards. He does change the basher, by the way, on Xingqiu. He's going to go for the blink instead, and here we go, Xingqiu. He just needs a rebound target. Just running the old-fashioned way. Phase boots might just do the job, Panda. He's trying to pop the drops and get the hell out of there, but he's just being chased down.
It's like a horror film, except with some cute girl chasing you down to kill you.
Wait.
Sounds that bad. Sounds like a fun thing.
XXS. Starting to find himself here. Maybe setting up. They do have the soul mine to come in, and he just onslaughts his way out. No problem for XXS. So his BKB is now down. Slardam's going to go for a chase. They'll try for at least DY. They'll have DY. They'll get something. But here comes XM and here comes Arme. He'll pop the Swift Slash. On the Brewlings, still has the Omni Slash available as well as the Aegis. Bakaz, meanwhile, still trying to go after XM, though the damage is somewhat lacking, but XM being dragged back. Here comes the big Omni. It's right onto Bakaz. Bakaz in huge trouble, trying to survive through it. Arme still fighting here, but Bakaz is healing up with his BKB. And the life steal might just be enough. Arme may have gone too far. Swift Flash again. Arme survives. Arme's made it. Completely calculated here from Arme. And guess who's here, John? It's Xingqiu onto Slardam once again. Xingqiu, you're bullying them now, sir. Right? Leave them alone, Xingqiu.
Go.
Oh.
Oh, man. Ame. That timing for Swift Slash to be back up at that precise moment while the Satanic faded away, and him having that, level 20 talent as well to lifesteal through. Oh boy, that was some tight timing for Ame. Works out in the end. High ground opens up. No buyback for Slatum. And this is going to be pretty much 2, maybe more sets of racks. Maybe just Megas coming out entirely. No split on the respawn. There is split on the respawn, actually, but is it going to be enough with a roll? Doesn't feel like it. You need that damage coming out as well from Pakaz. Oh my god. Oh my god, that's just dirty.
Oh, that's so good. Xingqiu doesn't care. Don't do it, Xingqiu. He's thinking about fountain diving now. XXS has to save him.
For some reason, when I think of SinQ playing Morsi now, I think of American Psycho, but with Morsi. You know, and just imagine Christian Bale's character, but it's Morsi in some of those scenes. That's what I'm seeing right now. That's the vibe I'm getting from SinQ. Feels.
Bottom racks for the Mega Series Xtreme Gaming. And Boom will try their absolute best to slow this down, but there is no slowing it down. There's too much damage being pumped out here from Xtreme. Knight trying his best with all the pushbacks being spammed out, but they are indeed going to be up against Megas rather soon. Here comes the cars. They might just try one last time. XXS though happily jumping in, almost taking out half the HP of the Luna. Arme still just standing his ground right at the front. No fear in the world. There's your Soulbind, locking a couple down. Slime's going to try and move in with a Rolling Thunder, but he just gets annihilated by Arme. Absolutely destroyed. There goes Fakaz. No chance in hell. GG is called. They have seen enough. Let the torture end.
Yeah, it's almost a mirror again of game one, where the laning phase looked pretty good for Boom.